Hi, I'm Steve Selig, the founder of fit.test, and in this short video I'm going to show you a better way to conduct step test using fit.test. Now, step tests have some great conveniences in the sense that you need almost no equipment apart from some kind of stepping bench or chair or anything safe that someone can step up and down on, plus a method to measure heart rate. So it's really convenient and you don't need much space either. And my app is designed to really do step tests beautifully, as you will see later on in this presentation. So just before I get on to how to use fit.test for step tests, I just want to summarise for you some problems with some of the prescribed step tests that are in the literature. And the first one being the Queen's College step test, which uses a prescribed step height of 41.3 centimetres for all. And interestingly, just based on a typical step height for gym benches, which is kind of strange. And it tells you why there's only a constant step height for this test. So obviously this disadvantages people with short limbs, short legs, or short people, and it advantages people who are of higher fitness and disadvantages people of lower fitness. So we want to get around that and have a variable step height, which fit.test certainly does. Another really big problem is that all of the step tests listed here are single stage tests. By that I mean that in this case for the Queens, the males will just step at a constant rate of 24 steps per minute and females at 22 steps per minute for the entire duration of the test, and offers no discrimination or no ability to find a symptom-free range of exercise intensities. Now, a third really big problem is that heart rate is recorded during recovery rather than during the exercise itself. And the lower the heart rate or the quicker the heart rate falls during recovery, then the higher the levels of fitness. Of course, this is ridiculous for people who are taking any of those heart rate modulating medications, such as beta blockers in particular, where the heart rates will be 30, maybe even 40 beats lower than someone who is not taking a beta blocker. And there are many other examples of this. So clearly this would overestimate the fitness in such an individual and make it really risky for prescribing exercise later on. So this really, in my mind, just that on its own invalidates these tests for using widely across especially clinical populations. But I can give you another example of where heart rate during recovery is fast and makes the person look fit. And this would be the example where someone has a vasovagal episode following exercise, possibly due to overexertion. And in this situation, the heart rate falls precipitously during recovery due to vagal responses rather than anything to do with fitness. And this will make the person look fitter than they are and can be unsafe in terms of prescribing exercise. So the YMCA 3-minute step test is an alternative, has very similar problems to the Queen's, but uses a lower step height. And the Harvard step test, again, very similar problems to the Queen's, but uses a higher step height. So I don't use any of these three tests as a step test for the things that I want to do on fit.test, and I haven't offered these protocols at all on fit.test. So instead, using fit.test, what this offers is a multi-stage test. So we will have a step height, and then we change the step speed or the step cadence each minute until the person gets to the final stage of the test, depending on where you want to go to, submaximal or even a maximal exercise test. And this allows us to identify a symptom-free range of exercise intensities for individualised exercise programming. As I said, we have the ability for variable step heights, depending on what you have available in your gym, but also you could use a higher step height for someone who is fitter or a lower step height for someone who is shorter. Now, heart rates during exercise are used, not recovery heart rates, and I've already identified the rationale for doing that. But really, even more importantly, is that you will have total control over the use and interpretation of age-predicted heart rate peak, and in fact, all the submaximal heart rates that you're going to collect during the multi-stage exercise tests. And I'll show you on the next slide how that works. So here we have an exercise test for a fairly low-level client who only achieved a VO2 peak of 23 with a heart rate peak of 133, which interestingly is only 75% of his age predicted heart rate peak of 177. So if we were to use 177 here rather than 133, this test would clearly overestimate this person's fitness and make exercise prescription potentially unsafe. So what I've done is inputted that 133 that I got on the last minute of this exercise test. And you can see here the range of heart rates for this 7-stage step test, starting from 12 steps per minute up to 24 steps per minute. And you can see the range of RPEs from 8 to 15. So that is a very, very simple test to conduct. It lasts 7 minutes. And you can see here the graphical representation. Here's our symptom-free range of exercise intensities. Here's our VO2 peak. And as I said, this is a low-level client, so we are only getting to here on our VO2 displayed against age. Now, another client that I want to show you is also low-level. This time we used a step height of 21.5 centimetres rather than the 26 on the previous client. And you can see here that the heart rates didn't go up in a linear fashion at all. In fact, this person had quite a lot of rhythm disturbance to his heart rate, but you can still conduct the exercise test. And I've inputted 120 as the heart rate peak, which in this case is 67% of this person's heart rate, age predicted heart rate max of 177. So when we go to display this, obviously we have a lot more variability in the heart rate responses, but we can still fit a reasonable line of best fit and project it up to this VO2 peak here. So that's how you can use fit.test to really achieve a much better step test than for the published step tests. And I strongly recommend you use the methods for step testing that I've provided here. Obviously, those step test results can then be linked into individualised exercise programming, which is a strong feature of fit.test. So thanks for looking at this video, and I will and I want you to have a great day, and you, by all means, contact me at info@myfittest.com if you have any questions about anything I've said in this video. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.